Kendrick, we have some things to discuss today. And the first thing is Kandi said, "No, Bethenny, I'm good."
Mm-hmm.
And as much as we are both in agreement that they're, forming a union and having protections and all that is vital, the way Bethenny's going about it is nothing but selfish, disguised as heroism.
As always.
And she's so unaware of her privilege.
And you know what? I had to finally talk it out this weekend because, I've been really trying to decide how I feel about this. I just knew that Bethenny was not the person I wanted leading this charge. But I finally figured out why this has been chapping my ass so much. And it's because Bethenny, and she listed out, I'm not saying it's just like how I feel. Bethenny listed out the 10 things that she proposed about what they should unionize around and all this stuff. Bethenny's reasoning for doing this is strictly monetary. And that's what grinds my fucking gears, because you're doing all of this while there are women out there saying that they can't get fair treatment on reality TV. They're being blackballed. They are being, being expected to do other things that like their white co-workers, Kim Zolciak, aren't expected to do. All these different things. It's not a movement. What is it? It's not a moment. It's a movement. All this kind of stuff. You're wondering about residuals and like all this kind of stuff, which you should be. But if that's what the only thing that your movement is around, I'm not joining that, sis. You're not even, this is a whole, like, how there are those like pieces of activism that actively leave people out? Yes. That's what this feels like. That's exactly what it feels like. And I can't get behind anything that Bethenny Frankel is pushing. Sorry, sis.
If you're not watching, you're missing out on so much Kendrick face. No, it's true. And I wish that Bethenny would have actually aligned herself with a Black woman to say, this is the message. Because imagine this. Oh my God, this will never happen. But imagine Bethenny did this. Imagine she was like, I'm aware of my privilege as a white woman. So I will let my privilege be the help to get this message to the right people. But I'm here and I'm really speaking on behalf of my Black co-stars or whatever she calls them, because that is a good use of your privilege. But she's so unaware of her privilege that she's doing this without any shred of irony, realizing like you were the best treated reality star on Bravo.
Yeah, you get to shit talk the network all day long and get invited back to talk about your shit talking.
Yes.
All the time. Like, are you kidding me?
You're so unaware of how one-sided this is. It's just for you. And also, I'm actually happy that Paige was like, I never fucking talked to Bethenny. I don't know why she tagged me in that.
Yeah.
Because that was like, as much as people thought it was kind of like a powerful move to show who else, I thought that was fucked up that she tagged those people that had reached out. I was like, that's violating a little bit of a, and clearly she didn't check with them because Paige is over here going, I didn't say I would do that.
And you know what else is? If you look at all the people she tagged, this is another reason why I know this has nothing to do with people of color, which is why Kandi is staying out of it.
All white people.
All white people. I was like, okay, this ain't our battle. She's made that very clear.
Yeah.
She's wanted to do this for strictly money. I get it. If you want to jump on the money train, then do it. But if that doesn't bother you, leave it alone. It ain't our battle. Leave it alone. Let Bethenny do whatever she's doing by herself.
And she's just the worst. So I'm glad Kandi's staying out of it.
Yep.
Smart move. Because if Kandi was leading this, it would not have been like scorched earth, fuck up everything, burn every bridge. She would have been like, we can organize this. Let's have discussions behind the scenes. We don't need to like call them out like this, because that's that's not how unions need to be formed. You don't need to do this like public thing where you're like, we are going after you guys. I'm one person. I don't care. I have the resources to do it. It's like, well, who are you? You're clearly not connected to other reality stars, because by the way, you've fucked over people that you've cast on your shows. Contracts you gave, what was her, Barbie Bunny or whatever that TikToker was that was like in a war with Bethenny. Like, I haven't been able to work or take any other jobs because this contract states that I will be violating the contract if I do. That was your show, Bethenny. So I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I just got very angry. What was I talking about? I just was so heated thinking about her. Like, it's bad. It's bad.
But that's how you know, like, Bethenny, she's literally the worst because she's going through all of this. Like, she's seeing the SAG-AFTRA strike, and she's like, oh my God, okay, well, they've struck, so like we must do the same thing. And it's like, they have been trying to negotiate different things for God knows how long behind the scenes. This was their last resort. You think these people didn't want to be able to pay their bills and do all of this stuff? No, they literally, this was the absolute last option because the networks and the streamers were not budging. You're just doing this because you have the money to sit up in your fucking castle while all the other reality stars are going to be on the front line, and you expect, get the hell out of here. Get out of my face. See, now I'm pissed off about it. Shut
up. Exactly that. Like, she keeps sacrificing all these people. She's like, and I encourage those who are filming to stop filming. Bitch, if you were filming too and you were stopping filming, then we can talk.
Right.
But you're not working. You pitched a show that got shelved. So you are like bitter watching this strike. And I'm not kidding, Kendrick. I swear to God, I'm right about this. She is mad that we get to still recap reality TV because technically it's not a violation. I swear to God, that's why she did this, because she wants her show to get more popularity. She wants to weed some of us out because she's just that greedy. Okay?
That's what it is. That's what it is, people. I believe that.
Serious. She's like, wait, how come they get to keep talking about it? Oh, because reality TV doesn't have a union. Blah, blah, blah.
I believe it. I believe it.
So that is what it is. This is all personal. This is not how you organize a fucking union.
No.
First, she should have formed her team. She should have contacted Nene, Kandi, whoever the fuck, Kenya.
Right.
But she should have contacted these people behind the scenes. You don't need to do a big public announcement, and then figured out what the needs were. But she's like, she announces it like that, and then she's piecing it together with things that people are sending her now after she's already done it. No organization whatsoever, pure chaos. And it's not for any other reason other than ego.
Imagine if me and you were sitting down playing blackjack, and I'm literally like, okay, Emily, look, this is my whole hand. This is what I need. I need to not black poke, like showing you my whole hand if we're playing poker. Like, nope, this is what I need the dealer to give me. This is what I need. Go ahead and bet. Like, I know I have 3 aces, but go ahead and do whatever you do. It's like, first of all, you're the stupidest organizer ever. You're telling them what you want to do. You're calling for action like right in front of them. You haven't talked to anyone. People are reaching out to you, and now these people are like, no, I didn't say tell them that I talked to you. Like, now you're Snooki. I know Snooki and JWoww like might be talking to you, but they're actively also promoting their reality TV show that is airing right now. You think they wanted to be in battles with the networks?
Seasons of their life, because fucking Sammy is back. Okay. So
weird.
Yeah, they had no idea. Like, they reached out to her, and now she's like, all right, I'm telling everyone that's reached out to me to do what I'm doing and not film. Like, you weren't filming.
Right.
It wasn't an option. Oh my God. But like, I don't think anyone expected her to say that. Like, when she put that in the caption on TikTok, they were like, oh, well, hold on.
Right.
I thought we were gonna like talk about this first before.
I gotta think that like Paige was like actively filming a scene, and like afterwards when it calmed down, the producers was like,
Paige?
can we talk to you? Right. Can we talk to you for a minute? Cause you've got grievances and we need to know what they are. It's like, no. I have not talked to that lady. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe and you know what? I actually believe Paige. Hannah probably did like volunteer both of their names. She probably did speak to Bethenny and probably been like, yeah, because me and Paige both feel like
talk
this and
about
that.
it all the time.
That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. And so that's where we're at. So Bethenny, if you really, really want to change, there's a way to do it. First, you form the union. Then you go on strike. Like, what are you talking about? There is no union yet.
Right.
But you're telling everyone to go on strike, but like you have to gather together first.
Weird.
Okay.
Is that your Beverly Hills diamond in the back?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know why. It's like I should have it incorporated somehow because it's just I did drop it though, so there's a little
You can't even, it's a prism. You can't even tell. Okay, you can't tell it all.
I'm such a perfectionist like that I'm like, I can see it. I'll get a new one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Isn't it nice?
When you do a new album cover, you've got to hold that. You got to go get you a peach. You got to get you in like an apple or something. And all three of you just standing there holding your thingies. There you go. That was the
most amazing. Maybe that's just like a photo shoot I do.
There you go. Just promote the podcast, promote the page, just whatever.
Yeah, just for funsies, you know.
There you go.
It is time I take a damn professional picture for once.
I know. I forced myself to do it because I don't even know what the occasion was. I was like, I need pictures.
No,
like,
you need it. You need it. Because like whenever I submit the one that I use, it's like something I took as a selfie in my room and I added it's like so not professional at all. All right, let's get into what?
This is so random though too. Nothing to do with anything, but in certain airports, like I know the Indianapolis airport has one for sure. Have you ever seen those LinkedIn booths?
No.
They have LinkedIn where you can go in and take a professional headshot.
Oh, shut up.
To like download it to your phone and like can upload. So like that's my like LinkedIn photo. Like you can airbrush it like while you're in the booth and it's amazing. So like try to find one of those. Cheapest way to go. Amazing. Amazing. Still to this day.
That's kind of brilliant. Like right? What like brought that on was people were traveling a lot and they probably needed a new picture or something.
And they were probably like going to business meetings already dressed up in their like suits and dresses and stuff. So it's like, oh shit, I look kind of good. Wait, I got time before my layover. Let me take a picture. Like, yes.
What a very convenient and thoughtful service.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever did that, well done. Thinking outside the box. That's what they call that.
There we go.
Shut up. That is so stupid.
Today's episode is sponsored by the revolutionary cookware company HexClad. Because you know when you're choosing pots and pans, you have to pick between the performance of stainless steel, the durability of cast iron, or the convenience of nonstick. And I always went nonstick. By the way, I didn't know nonstick shouldn't go in a dishwasher. So no wonder all my pots and pans have been ruined throughout the years. HexClad, though, you can have it all. They have this patented technology that finally gives you the benefits of all three in one pan. With nonstick, which is literally all I used to buy, you don't really get a good sear on your food. However, HexClad's patented hybrid technology not only prevents food from sticking to the pan, it also has the incredible temperature control and the durability to last a lifetime. Gordon Ramsay has HexClad in his restaurants and at home. So if it's good enough for Gordon Ramsay, right? HexClad's 6-piece starter set is sort of the perfect set to enjoy the incredible versatility of their products. The set features 3 of their most popular pans with accompanying lids that can handle all of your pan cooking needs, whether it's eggs or burgers or steak or sauces. HexClad products are already an amazing value, but all of their products are also backed by a lifetime warranty. That's right. You will literally never have to buy another set of pots and pans for the rest of your life. HexClad's patented laser-etched hexagonal steel ridges boost your searing power, while the nonstick valleys are constructed with high-grade nonstick Japanese coating and infused with diamond dust for extra toughness. There's diamonds, guys. They're diamond pans. These are the best pans you'll ever own. HexClad just checks all the boxes when it comes to picking your cookware. They are metal utensil safe. Hello. Dishwasher safe and oven safe up to 500 degrees. They are non-toxic, which is huge. and induction ready. It even has a stay cool handle so you can saute with ease. Some would say that Gordon Ramsay is the toughest critic in the world, and these are the pots he uses. Get 10% off with code SHESPEAKS at hexclad.com. That's 10% off hexclad.com with code SHESPEAKS. Bon appetit. Let's eat with Hexclad's revolutionary cookware.
Shut up! That is so stupid.
Before I moved out of my last house that I shared with my sister, and we had this huge, ugly backyard, and I was about to move out, and along came this sponsor, Fast Growing Trees. And I told my sister, I'm like, I'm not going to benefit from this, but you can literally go onto fastgrowingtrees.com. And there are like thousands of easy to grow plants, shrubs, and tree varieties expertly curated for your unique climate and needs. We've always said we wanted to plant a bunch of trees to hide the nastiness of the backyard, but that just doesn't that sound like the hardest thing in the world? Like, you don't have to go wait in a line. You don't have to haul heavy plants around. You can just go on fastgrowingtrees.com, order online, and your plants arrive at your door in just a few days. And if you're not necessarily the planting expert, Fast Growing Trees have plant experts, and they're just a Zoom, a chat, or a phone call away. They're always eager to help. They can even walk you through your entire garden to help solve problems you're having with plants and trees. Hello. And these experts have specialized degrees and training to help troubleshoot from root to leaf. And these experts have specialized degrees and training to help troubleshoot this stuff. It's like telehealth for your plants. So my sister ordered a lemon tree, and it was delivered to the house in a few days. Here's the other thing, though. This is important. They have this Alive and Thrive 30-day guarantee thing. So everything does look great and is fresh out of the box. Because that was another thing I was like, what if it gets here? Because sometimes you never know with deliveries. Join almost 2 million happy Fast Growing Trees customers. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/bravo to get 15% off your entire order. 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/bravo. Did you watch the after show?
Yes. Hands down, my favorite one of the season. I don't know.
Sheree and Sonia.
Oh my God.
It went
this
on
was,
and on and on.
I want the entire third part of the reunion. I want to be about whether or not Martell paid for this dinner, because that's the kind of shit I love to see an argument about. Like that, us knowing Martell and us knowing Sheree, like that's got to be the cheapest couple in the fucking world.
Oh my God,
right? But like spending money on shit they absolutely don't need, but like will not buy everyone's dinner. That's the kind of stuff they do. That's what I need to see argued. Right. It's cracks in the friendship.
So right about that, actually. Sheree notorious for not paying, and then Martell cheap as fuck. Yeah, bad combination there.
Yep.
Because the fight was Sheree going, I actually heard you guys were the ones saying that. And they had to admit, like, well, it was a little weird that, like, he's sitting there and he's such a Mr. Big Shot type of guy, too. So I do think that it would have just been a very nice gesture to be like, I got you on your birthday. I got all your friends. Like,
right.
It's a big statement, right? So to not do it and to be like, I paid for myself and for Sheree. And then they said they heard him asking her to like send him money or something.
Yeah, they said that they didn't know that he paid for hers, which I don't believe. I believe she probably paid for her. And then they said that he was asking for Cash App requests to like, okay, let me tell you why this is so relevant in my life right now. I actually just like, my sister were like throwing something for a family member, and so we want to get like a room somewhere. We're like, oh, we'll go like to this restaurant, we'll get a room, it'll be really nice, like whatever. So they're like, okay, perfect, put a credit card on file, it'll be like 50, funny enough, $1,500. So like I know the kind of restaurant they went to, so that's kind of red flag number one, because like it's nice, like it's a nice restaurant for us, but like I don't make reality TV 10 season money. So but like $1,500, well, okay, fine, whatever, we got, that's no problem. Put the card down, like that kind of stuff. The fact that like Martell is like stressing about 1,500, and like I would be almost embarrassed to be going around asking people for cash apps for something that I invited them to.
Yep.
At the last minute, under the guise of we're gonna celebrate Sheree's birthday. It's all it's all like I understand why Melody has issues with him. I do.
And Sheree goes into like during the after show, she does that very annoying Sheree thing where she just like doesn't listen to sense and makes shit up. Like she starts making up that she's like, I've never been out and had your husbands pay for me. But then Sonya's like, that's not true actually, because Ross has paid, Todd has paid. And then Sheree has to be like, oh, well, that's Todd. That was for something else. There were like 4 people there. It's like, no, there were like 8. Oh, well, that's not actually true. That was something I didn't get that. And then she's trying to give them shit for not bringing a gift. And they're like, I actually did bring a gift. Also, you invited us the day before. Also, even more embarrassing was this was a small, intimate dinner, not a big event where you could maybe expect him to be like, whoa, hold on, everyone's on here. It's like, it was just her close enough friends. That's even more embarrassing. So yeah, all of Sheree's arguing in the after show was typical Sheree, like delusion.
Yes.
And as much as it was getting annoying for Marlo, I actually wanted Sonya to keep going because Sonya was totally making sense. And I was like, listen to her. She has an answer for everything you're fucking saying, Sheree.
Yes. And you notice towards the end of it, Marlo said like one thing and Sheree completely like turned around.
Because Sonya knew she was losing.
Yes. Sonya started making way too much sense.
So glad you said that, because that's exactly what happened. That's what she does all the time too. When she knows she's losing an argument and someone chimes in with the typical like, okay, guys, can we wrap it up? She'll be like, I'm over it.
Right.
No, you're
Every
not.
time.
Because you're losing.
You got beat.
Because it's fucking embarrassing that your rich, hot man wouldn't just pick up the bill. Like, don't get me wrong. $1,500 to me is a lot for a dinner. Okay.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be inviting, like, it's a different thing. I'm not claiming that I'm some high roller.
Right.
And that's how Martell presents himself.
Right.
And Sheree.
I would have, you know what? Because like in normal, like everyday life, I probably wouldn't have made that assumption. I always go everywhere expecting like, to pay for myself. Same. Like I would never assume that. But like, if I were them, the way like they all kind of make it seem like someone's gonna pick up the bill anyway. Like if I were to go out with like Kandi and Todd, I would assume like Kandi and Todd are probably gonna like pay the bill for that group of people. Like all of them have money. It's nothing. Like I'll throw the card down. $1,500. That's a drop in the pan. Like it's okay. I got it. We'll pay that. Martell, the way he puts on and both him and Sheree, the way they put on and act, I would think that like $1,500 is nothing, but let them tell it. Yeah.
I don't think anyone is cheaper than Sheree.
Yes.
She is the official cheapest housewife or Bravo Leb, period, ever in the history of Bravo. No one is cheaper than Sheree. She is like a swindler.
Yes. Yes.
She'll come in and she'll find something to get mad at all the time. She wants to get mad at something so that she could be like, well, I'm not paying for it then.
Right.
And she'll find something. Although I will say the party that she's going to throw for her granddaughter did look fucking chic for next week.
Yeah.
I'll give her that. Because she spends all the damn money.
Right. We'll see how many corners she cuts though to actually make it look good. Who knows?
She'll be fighting with them up until it and tell them that they're fired so that she doesn't have to pay them for it.
Child.
Let's get into the episode. Oh my God, I've been so excited to talk about this. Okay. So as they showed previously, they showed Drew at the brunch saying, it's a lawsuit, but my attorney's handling it. And then I was like, wait a minute. Where did I hear her say? And then I remembered Kandi's face as she was trying to follow what Drew was saying in the after show. So she says she had an attorney, but then in the after show, Kandi is explaining why she was like, the first time I had a lawsuit, it was really hard. I wanted to fight it because it's my reputation, whatever. So we started to realize that they just sue you to win. They sue you to settle, and they won't go away. And then you pay all this money in lawyer bills when you could have just paid the money to go away. Drew goes, well, I represented myself. Call me Drew Sidora Esquire. Huh. And then now it's 10,000. That number changed significantly.
Yep.
So
every time
I'm convinced that it's extortion. I think this woman saw some shit and she's like, you don't, and then maybe like recorded it secretly on her phone or something. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
You know what I think?
Oh,
I don't know who this woman is. I ain't looked at the lawsuit. So lady, don't come after me. This is all alleged, speculation, alleged. I think she probably, since she was working there, because Ralph pretty handsy and friendly and all that kind of stuff. I think that maybe she did something, got it on either tape, text, recording, something, and was like, I'm gonna tell everybody about your husband unless you cough it up. I think it was one of those extortion, but extortion specific to Drew Sidora. And that's what it was.
Yeah, because think about it. Sure, she says it's $1,000, which, all right, fine. Go to small claims court or whatever the hell you do with that.
Right.
That's why she's like, I represented myself. I can, fine. I'll let you do that. I'll give that to you. But when you're telling us the real full story now that you were served with papers and it said 10,000, you get a lawyer.
Right.
But then she claims, she's like, we had someone giving us legal advice, but because we didn't have him like on the paperwork or something, he couldn't represent us. I'm like, that's not a thing. Like you can change lawyers all the time, right? Is that what? Kendrick has the biggest, naughtiest, steamiest grin on. What?
You know what this makes me think of? And the reason why she might not have wanted to say it to Kandi. What other lawyer do we know running around Atlanta that Kandi knows, that Drew knows?
You think Phaedra's representing her?
Do you remember back in season 4 where Sheree and Phaedra got into it because Phaedra didn't submit some paperwork, and Sheree was like, "Well, I could have." I was like, "I could have done it like that." And Phaedra was like, "Well, do you, what's the status of your case now?" She's like, "Well, it's still in the same place." And she's like, "Exactly, it's in the same place when I had it and all this kind of stuff." I believe Phaedra might have gotten either put her in connection with somebody or did something, and Drew doesn't want to say that to Kandi. Because
that is very much a conspiracy. There is literally no evidence of this, right?
No, none at all. I'm very much a reality TV conspiracy.
Yes.
Yes. They're always at Lanithia Lounge together. They always like seen out in public.
I forgot that they've been seen out in public. That's your no, never mind. That's your proof.
There we go. You know, Atlanta's small. It's big, but it's small. You know, they all those reality TV stars run together.
That really makes sense. Then if they've been seen out together, it would be so easy for Phaedra to be like, "I got you."
Drew's kind of playing both sides. She's like, "I love me some Kandi, but Phaedra's kind of cool too. I don't want to, so I just won't mention her over in this circle. I think this might be what it is. I'm just saying."
Ooh. Okay. That does make a little more sense.
I'm gonna go with it. I can
also see Drew saying, "No, we got it," because she doesn't want Phaedra to know what the lawsuit's about.
I can see that too.
I could see it go. You know what I mean? I could see her being like, "We don't want to do that."
Exactly,
because she's such a seasoned liar. The lies just, roll off the tongue for Drew. Like when they showed the flashback this episode of when they were like, "No, the Drop It with Drew site, we can't sign up," and she was like, "Oh yeah, it crashed."
So many people.
So many people. Where Kenya literally looks at the camera like, "Is this? Are we really fucking like? Is this really happening?"
Oh, God.
Okay, let's get into this up now. Sonia tells Ross she's pregnant. I have to say, Sonia's not great at coming up with ways to announce her pregnancy because Ross gets it because it's literally right in front of him, but then her parents don't get it because, well, they were also the wrong direction. And
pregnant Weir.
Pregnant Weir. And like her mom's still like, I don't understand what's happening. Why are you guys excited? I'm like,
right.
How do you not? Okay, that was also on her. But then she tries to do it with the picture. Like, just take off your hoodie, just like unzip your hoodie and do that and like talk to them and be like, oh, like, yeah.
Right.
That was such a roundabout way of doing that.
That's why I like cracked up when Drew was like, she does everything for social media. Like, what do we do? I'm like, it is. It's like such a, who cares? Like I can imagine, like, I tell somebody, oh, I love that picture. Send me that. I'm not going to check my phone right now. Like, I'll check it when I get home. Like,
and she's telling everyone, like, open your phones, check it. Make sure everyone likes the picture. Does everyone like zoom in?
Right.
Literally just unzip your hoodie. And then they'll be like, oh, and then like, that's it. There were way too many steps in that one. Way too many steps.
If I were Sonya, oh, this is so, that's very vain. Never mind. Oh, but she's got those like track runner abs. I'd be like, man, I know people like aren't that vain and would absolutely carry their child, but I'd be like, I'm such a person that does not have abs. I'm like, if I get pregnant, it's got to be a surrogate. Like, no, I can't do it.
You'd be using the surrogate for like all the reasons that Kandi, they're like, they're going to accuse you. You'd be that person.
Yes,
like,
I would be that person. I'm
don't
like, no, I finally got abs. Like, no, this kid can go live somewhere else for 9 months and then he can come over here. Like, no.
Clearly her body bounces back because she's already had one kid and you like would not be able to tell.
Exactly.
Her body is like pure muscle.
God.
All right. Drew and Ralph go bowling. I have so many notes because everything that was coming out of both of their mouths. I was like, what are we watching?
They are wild.
Like this was you could feel how much he hates her.
Right?
Oh, it was sad.
It's divorce time. Like, I'm glad they made the decision. Like they should not be together.
No.
And I hate like for a family to break up, but like they should not be together. Ralph needs to do a lot of work before he's with someone.
I think he legitimately needs to be like able to admit he's a narcissist, and only then should someone date him. Because if he can admit I'm a because there are men, there's this cool guy on TikTok who's like, I am a diagnosed narcissist and I'm here and I'm self-aware, which is a very rare thing to be. And so it's like, if he was aware of it, maybe, but he's so unaware of it. He thinks he's perfect. He thinks she's the problem, solely the problem. Yet we've seen him treat her so horribly. And we've just kind of had to move on from it because Drew's forcing us to pretend like they're happy or something. Was it you who said that you think Drew's filming the confessionals way later and that's why she's saying certain things?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think she's doing that again where she in the black and white, like zebra one, she's like, I'm just doing everything I can to make this marriage work. And it doesn't, it felt a little bit like, okay, say these things on camera, get those bites. So you're on to something there.
That's what it feels like. And sometimes you can kind of tell when they're like, okay, go recreate this look exactly so that we can get some more of that. And that's what it feels like a lot with this going on. Usually when in a divorce or when something breaks, you can kind of tell when people like go back to film some stuff because the ponytail isn't quite hanging like it was and like all this stuff. So that's what it feels like.
Another thing that's funny too is when a storyline for a season is whether or not they can get pregnant. There's if they end up pregnant, there's one confessional look towards the end where I'm like, they're pregnant.
Yep.
Like it's Ashley Darby, as soon as Ashley Darby, I was like, oh, she's pregnant. You can see it in her face.
And they always do it like from the shoulder up. They're all like, you're like, why are you so much close to the screen than like literally everyone else on the show? And then you're like, oh, well, that's why. Okay. There we go.
You can see in their face, like, all right. And they're like, we're going to try our best to hide it, but it's right. Also, I'm sure we would have found out they're pregnant by that point.
But also, like,
I just realized
Sonya, but Sonya, let me see. This had to have been early this year because she announced that. It's August already. She has a miscarriage, I think. Oh, this isn't the one she has that she announced recently. Oh no. Oh, I don't want to see
I
that.
believe
No.
that's.
I think you're right, actually, now that I think about that. Because I was thinking, I was like, she does not look that far along to me, but okay.
Yeah. Because someone, when we were talking about, remember a couple weeks ago, we were like, she's pregnant, right? We like couldn't remember.
Yeah.
A couple people messaged me. They're like, we saw in the trailer her looking at a pregnancy test. But then even I did the math and was like, ooh, well, I don't know if that's the one we're dealing with now.
You said something too. I think you read in one of her captions or something. I think she said rainbow baby, if I'm not mistaken.
I might have. And that's, thank you, Monique. We know what that means.
Yes. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so Drew asks Ralph why he stopped counseling. And his response is he's like, there are times you just need to like do the work and stop talking. And in counseling, it's like this topic, then this topic, and then this topic. Oh, that's just going to get us divorced. I'm like, hold on. Literally, the whole point of counseling is to talk about your issues. And you expected her to what? Just like only have one? Like, you are the fucking worst. Therapy must be the absolute most, well, I guess unless you can like go in there by yourself and like lie to the therapist. But it like the worst thing for a narcissist like him. So I bet like he could have done solo ones, I'm sure, but I'm sure that Dr. Ken was like, I bet he was constantly like, you're crazy. You're a fucking asshole.
Yep. You know what I think too? I think that if you compare the two, like him on the show, like in normal settings as opposed to like him in therapy, I bet it's a lot easier to hide who he really is like in natural settings, because it's just like he can pop in, honey, I'm home, and do the things like, oh, what did Sheree say today? Oh no, that's wild. I hate that. He can like pretend to be the supportive person. But if you like get a narcissist somewhere and like make them like talk things out, they're gonna always reveal themselves to be a narcissist. So I think it's the John Jansen approach. He does not want to be on camera making himself look like an asshole. So that's why he's not going to therapy with her anymore. Bloop.
He tries to use this really like, he's like, well, I've had less blow-ups, haven't I? And she's like, and he's like, well, measure it on the reduction of frequency of the event. I'm saying really intelligent things right now.
Wild.
Sir.
Wild.
I'm saying really, okay. The camera pans down and shows him not wearing his ring, but also neither is Drew, it looked like.
Yeah.
It might have been because they were bowling, but I feel like people never take them off. I don't know. I've never had a ring.
Right, I've never heard that.
Yeah,
Drew, I love that Drew right after that says, "Well, don't forget, I graduated early, so you're not. It's not lost on me. I know what you're saying." I'm like,
I'm like, remind him. Yes, you're not. You're not an idiot. He's dumber than you. But she's like, okay, so I'm gonna need some support, because I'm not single. I'm married. So this movie is going to take me away for 10 days. And the face, he's like, we got a problem. It's so condescending and like, oh, it's
such an asshole.
Awful. You're booked and busy. I've always been booked and busy. So, we know. Okay. We're aware. Right. We're not really sure where you're going or what you're doing, but yes, you're booked and busy or been busy or whatever. He's like, I'll step up as much as I can, but I got a bottom line. What? It's 10 days.
Right. Then you have to be with your children.
Yeah. And then Drew goes, well, Todd has daddy daycare. And he's like, I'm not daddy daycare. He doesn't travel as much as me. Sir.
I can't. I literally can't.
He goes, I want us to be Barack and Obama. She's like, those are the same. He's like, I meant Michelle. I'm drunk. I'm like, oh, wonderful. Now it's great that you like, because I couldn't tell he was drunk.
No, me neither.
But it was interesting that he like functioned so well drunk. So I bet he is often boozing it up with the guys and coming home and fighting with Drew. I just like, I got such a glimpse into him, I know. Even though he tries to shield us because he's, he knows he's an asshole, but he's like, no one can. No, I got a glimpse into this man. And I was like, he fucking hates you. You need to leave. Like that was I was just like, run.
Yep.
When she said, I'm going to need your help. And he was like, it was like, don't you dare tell me what I need to do.
Exactly.
Ugh.
I feel like Drew really tried during this scene too, because she was doing a lot of like laughing and stuff like that. She was really trying to like not go there with him. Like she can tell she was like, it almost feel like, you know how you have that one like your friend or partner or whoever that you can tell is in a mood. It felt like she knew, like in the back of her mind, she's like, nope, I'm not giving this to the camera. Let me just kind of smile and no, he's joking, ha ha ha. Let me give it to that, and then when we get in the car, I'll let his ass have it, because that's where it'll go down. This feels like the last of days for them. So the end of the season is going to be wild.
It's like since date night. And by the way, all she freaking said was, why'd you stop going to therapy? And I'm going to need your help. I bet you he views this as like a trap that she did it on camera. I bet he fucking bawled her out. Like, you knew that you asking me that on camera was going to make me look bad if I said I couldn't do it. So he probably yelled at her in the car. And that's because I'm like, why is he so upset with her over what she said?
Right.
Because he's a horrible person and he knows that she probably did do that intentionally. Like, she can't get him to agree to do it, or talk about it without cameras up. So dark. Kandi goes over to Kenya's, and Kenya is like, I figured you were like cutting carbs or something, so this is all very healthy. And the way Kandi looks at the food, she's so disgusted. I'm like, all right, I don't know who told you that, but
I know. She's always so over there. It feels like going to Erin's house, like on Real Housewives of New York. Sigh every time she shows up. She's like, no, I'm not doing this.
I know you don't have enough food. I just know it. I can tell.
God. That would make me not look forward to going to someone's house. If
are you crazy? If every time I went over to their house, it was like disappointing food, you can catch me at a restaurant.
Exactly. Girl, meet me at Chili's or something up the street.
Do you believe Kenya really thinks she's going to have another baby? I mean, she says she's going to use a surrogate, or wondered about it, but then she's going to use Mark's sperm.
This is what has me like reeling, because at first I was like, no, this has to be kind of a little storyline like that, especially when she talked to the OBGYN on camera. Like, first of all, I love that she did that on camera, because a lot of people don't know like the dangers of pregnancy. So like, I'm glad that she did that on camera. But when I had completely forgotten like about the embryos, and so this whole like, I'll put one of those in somebody, she's talking about putting them in herself, but I'm like, no, girl, that's what you almost literally died last time.
You have a daughter to live for now, so you can't do that.
Exactly. So wait till Shadina is done and get her.
Oh my God, it's so weird that Shadina is doing. It's like, it's such a bizarre thing that this can happen. That's like, oh, she carried my baby too. What?
Right.
It's wild. Science is wild.
I know, it's so wild. You know what? This is somewhat off topic though, but I'm so glad that like Kandi and Portia have gotten back to like a great place, because I know it had to have been so awkward for Shamia. Who was literally like best friends with Portia, but like such close friends with Kandi too. I know it's so awkward being like, yeah, I know she accused you of like slipping stuff in her drinks, but like, can't we all just be friends? It's like, no, sorry, we can't. But I'm glad they made it work. They were all at the Beyonce concert together this weekend.
Portia, Kandi, and Shamia.
All like Portia, Kandi, Shamia,
Kenya,
Monyetta, Kenya,
they were all together.
Latoya, like all of them were up in Kandi's like. I guess Kandi had like a suite, so yeah, they were like having the best time of their life, all dressed up. And by the way, Portia won the who was best dressed for Renaissance contest, because
she crushed,
ate it up.
I didn't realize that they were all together. So like even Kenya was there with. Okay, that actually gives me.
This is like the third event they've been at like recently together, and like have gotten along, like tag each other. Like Portia posted something.
Okay.
Yeah. Portia posted something and like Kenya like commented 3 hearts under it. I was like, where the fuck am I? Like, I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. What is happening? I love it though. Bring her back.
She's the only way people will watch again. Honestly, I'm not kidding. People hate this season.
I don't know. I get it. Like, it's not. I'm one of the people that's been like, it's never gonna be the old Atlanta. That's just how it is. Shows change. It's not gonna be the same. So like, when I had that realization, I'm able to enjoy like that and other shows like it more. But I don't know. Like, of course I want Portia back. Like, I'm up for the change. Like, this episode was great because I realized we didn't have a lot of the Marlo contriving things, and that's why this was such a good episode. But I'm okay with some changes next season, though. But I do want Portia back.
For real.
I love that.
For real. This is when they bring up, though, that Martell asked Sheree to pick up the bill. And we find out that Kandi wasn't invited. Kandi wasn't invited. They're not making a big deal out of it, though, which I love. They're not like, why wasn't I invited? They're just like, I don't. Even when they clearly asked Kandi, like in her confessional, like, how'd you feel? She's like, I'm fine. Like, I really like.
They didn't want to go to this shit.
I don't like. But the big thing for them is she thinks she's got these allies in Marlo and Sonia, but they're the ones who told us about Martell.
Exactly.
Sheree's always going to expect people to have like, don't say anything. It's like, no, but you know it's wrong. Like, you know, especially you, Sheree, you have been outspoken about how you want a man with money. You know?
Boy, oh boy. Sheree just has the worst picker in the world. Like, I always flash back to season 4 in Africa, talking to that, the guy doing the
voodoo thing.
Yes, doing all that like outside and saying like, you will never marry again and all this. I'm like, well, I'm starting to believe it's Sheree, because if these are your options, then you might not want to. Like, just
he was
be
on
okay
to something,
being single.
okay?
Yeah.
We're seeing that was not just a savage read. It was literally, he's like, no.
Right.
Not with who you're going for.
That would scare. That's why I don't do shit like that. I don't do like
either.
People doing like the.
I don't want to know. No. Don't tell me.
Because
anything
think about
bad.
Everything that they said about the people, like Kandi, all her shit came true, and like that's so crazy to me. I'm like, oh no. Let me just live my life, because it'll be my luck that like, oh, your name is Kendrick, isn't it? Yes, you die next month, and I'm like, God damn it, okay.
Yeah,
well,
don't tell me. I don't.
Here.
Yeah, exactly. I can't know that stuff. I really can't know that stuff.
God.
I have to say, Sheree giving Gotti a bath at the groomer was really funny, and I could have watched more of that. You know, the screaming,
fucking AOL email address. Oh my god,
AOL email address. But then she gets like awkward when they ask, like, so what did Martell get you for your birthday? And she's like, an Alexander McQueen handbag bag. I'm like, oh, was that a lie or what? You could barely hit it. But then she goes, but he doesn't buy the high end expensive labels. Is Alexander McQueen not high end? Right.
I'm like, what did I miss? Because like I feel like that's the definition of like haute couture, right?
I know I don't know fashion, but I'm like, I think last I checked.
Yeah. She's revered in the fashion industry, but okay.
What I thought. Whatever. The table read for Todd's movie.
Yes.
I don't know if it's going to be necessarily a hit.
It's going straight to Tubi. I'll say it for you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, you spent all this time on this? This is your amazing script that you've been working on and you were stressed out about for like a really long time?
No, it can't be.
No. Where's the real one, Todd?
Right.
You just didn't want to show us because he was on camera, because you're like, okay, but you're saving the real script for later. Okay.
Right.
No, there's no way this is. This is like a bad. This is exactly. Drew's mental health retreat. The place was gorgeous. Like, I really don't consider Drew like a good party thrower at all. So I was like, oh, this is legit.
Not that disaster from last year.
What did she do?
Oh wait, no. That was Sonya.
Right?
Yeah.
Why do I put
Drew and Sheree did a party together? Which one was it?
That was where she spent all the money on the balloons.
Yes, and everything, and Sheree would not pay her for everything.
It was a really ugly looking fucking party, though. It really was. And so Sheree was correct to be like, you spent how much on balloons? Like they were just like in one area, like on the ceiling. It wasn't even. Yeah. So I was shocked that all this was so well done. It was like a huge mansion. It was like an estate, and all the table settings were cool. It was awesome. And I was happy to see Cynthia Bailey.
Yes,
I didn't expect, you were right that she was in another, you said that. I think that was you, right? Cynthia, oh wait, hold on. And she tells Sheree, oh, that's right. Cynthia comes in and she goes, I have such a crush on you, Sheree. You look so hot on your birthday. I really would like Cynthia to explore her, because you know what? She's having the worst luck with the men's, and she's had so many like intimate, flirty sessions with, like, remember when her and Kandi did that very, very sexual dance? Ugh, it was a lot.
And she finally got her kiss from Kandi too on a recent episode of Speak On It.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she was the guest. I think last week she was the guest on last week's Speak On It, and she finally got her kiss. So, all right, Cynthia.
Because Cynthia does not age. She looks amazing. None of them do. Although Sheree's face in the after show, it's like, okay, so she's changed her face at this point.
Yes,
I'm not gonna say if it's good or bad, because that's not. I don't want to say. I feel bad saying that, but it's just different.
Right. Hopefully.
It's just
it wears off, right? Hopefully, you know, something's going on. But
because honestly, when Vicky got all that work done on Orange County and came back before it was healed, by the time they got to the reunion, I was like, oh, she looks okay.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like that shit was swollen. It was, you know, it's a lot.
Crazy.
She looked crazy. Yeah. Looked like a different person. How about Drew going to hug Ralph?
Asshole.
And he swerves her and goes and hugs literally everyone else as he hears her saying, hi, husband. I guess he's mad at me. Hi, husband. Ignoring her. Finally, she has to touch his arm and be like, hello. And he's like, oh, hey. But then he claims it's because she hugged Ross first, so he punished her like he's like, you went and did that, so then I punished you by humiliating.
God, what a dweeb. What a fucking dweeb.
It's like, that is God, it hurts my heart so much that she had to endure this man.
Her and Cynthia should be together.
Oh,
that's
I
the
like
couple
that.
we need. Yeah, put them together.
Yeah.
Let Ralph go do whatever he does in Tampa, and let them do what they do. Because we know Drew might, you know, like her some, you know. So and Cynthia might want to try her some, you know. So that'll be a good match right there. Put them together.
This is good advice.
Yes, there we go.
But yeah, no, I seeing how, like, that's just, it's such an ugly thing for a man to do, to like all he had to do is be like, oh, you're hugging Ross, and then wait for his hug. But that slight decision she made, just be like, oh, because Ross probably was like going closer to her. It looked like, when I rewatched it looked like he assumed she'd already seen Ralph. So Ross was like, hi. And like, kind of, he stepped in. It wasn't malicious, but the fact that Ralph went there, his ego is so delicate. That act made him go, watch this, swerve her, literally, like, move her out of the way to hug every other person and ignore her talking to him.
Weirdo.
Like, that is not love.
Get him out of here. Like,
God, I hate him.
He's just so, like, to think you actually would come into this kind of retreat. Well, you know what, actually, I wouldn't even put that on him, because the Atlanta ladies always show up to things like this and just like first we had like this whole, oh, it's a sound bath. We're here because Sheree doesn't need stress. She's trying to get rid of her fibroids and all this stuff. And then that was a nightmare. So that's not happening. Now we come here. This is all about mental health and bringing awareness and all like this. And now we're going to just be assholes the whole time. So it's like, well, I don't know. What we need to start putting on the Atlanta guest list. Like, I'm sending you an invitation. Okay, this is what you can't do. You can't be an asshole. You have to speak to your wife when you show up. Don't aggravate the fibroids. Like, there's a lot you can't do. Like, this is Atlanta. We got to get it together with these invitations, because it's not working out.
It's not working
at
out.
all. No.
Drew introduces her sister, and she gives us a new term. Mental mishaps is a term that Drew has learned. And hearing her sister's story is like heartbreaking and so very real.
Yes.
And the first activity is they do a drop it with Drew session, and it was so silly. It was so silly because like obviously the guy wasn't going to give them like a full blown like hardcore workout. So he's got them like step, kick, hit your arms up, go. Like I was like, okay, guys, like they're doing like shoulder rolls, and she's like, yes, this is amazing. I love this. And then they're panning around, and you've got like Sonya and Ross. All the guys are like, what is
happening?
Heath is like, okay, like I don't want to do this one.
No, so weird.
It was so embarrassing.
I had genuinely forgotten all about Drop It with Drew.
Me too. So wait, that's perfect. When Marlo's talking about it in her confessional, she goes to look it up and gets a 404 error. She goes, the internet done dropped it again.
Oh boy. Oh no. Now I gotta look it up.
The internet done dropped it again. Oh my God.
Jeez.
Too funny. Next up though is meditation. And Sheree has to take credit for it. She's like, I'm glad that my trip inspired Drew. My healing. I'm like, no, Sheree, it was her sister who planned this way before your awful trip where you should never ever lead healing ever.
No, you argued more than anyone. Like,
yes,
no, stop
you argued more than anyone. Totally. Marlo, though, again in her confessional cracks me up. She goes, I don't like the meditation. It smells. I don't know. It smells like their feet or their sweat. I don't like it.
I'm happy to report the Drop It With Drew website is back up. Now you can't type in dropitwithdrew.com, but you got to type in getitoffwithgarza.com/products/dropitwithdrew. So there's that. So
she probably looked up dropitwithdrew.com.
And got to that 404 not found. And
worst marketing. You should never be this confused. You have to just call it what it is. Go to this website. It's actually her program. I'm doing a special with her. We've joined up because I did her program, and now we put together one that's specifically for me. So she already that's not weird.
Right.
It's really not, actually. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no one would have blinked an eye.
Right.
Like this woman is like a trainer, and she saw me, and we've, like not weird.
I'm literally
always lying.
All on the Instagram right now. They've only got 468 followers. So I don't know if this is the real. I don't know if this is the real one or not, but I think it is.
Also, can you go to She by Sheree's Instagram?
God, okay.
Because I remember when She by Sheree launched, I was like, how does Sheree not have, in all the millions of dollars she's claimed to have spent, how did she not have someone running the social media? There was like not one post. They should have been posting like relevant shit, at least like lifestyle stuff. I don't know, because like it's the brand. Like, does she even have anything posted on She by Sheree?
Yeah, so she's got 37 posts now.
Oh.
Now, this launched at the end of last season, meaning they filmed it first and all that. But she's got 37. Looks like they've posted as recently as, from what I can see, at least this month, actually, maybe. They did some last month for fibroid awareness. And now, I will say, okay, most of these posts are Sheree, like saying, like one of them is "Be Proud." I don't know if this was a gay pride post, but it's just a rainbow flag with the She by Sheree sticker on it. So
shut your mouth.
That's something. And then
that's something. That's something.
That's something. There's a fibroid awareness month one, and it has a uterus on it and the She by Sheree logo. So
God, that ugly ass logo too. It's so ugly.
It is.
It's awful.
It's so dated. God.
It's so bad. It looks like a football logo or something. Like
yeah,
like a
the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, exactly.
Now I'm on the website. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, the website. I forgot about that.
Who gonna check me, boo? Oh dear.
Oh dear. Is there any by chance? Is there any of those amazing designs we saw on the runway available to purchase?
Absolutely not.
Okay, great.
Oh, okay. Now this one I don't know how to feel about. She has a sweatshirt that says "She Matters," and it's black, and it's got like 3 lines under. I don't know if that's a play on Black Lives or what it is.
What?
I don't know. I don't know what this is. Let me not even speak on this. I don't know what is happening anymore. Her grandbaby is adorable, though. I'm guessing that's her
too
grandbaby.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and she's
like,
in some of these pics. So
stunning. Yeah. Kandi comes out of that meditation with tears in her eyes, and she's like, I needed this. You know what? If it only helps one of them, that's awesome.
Yes.
Right? Like, good.
Love
I'm happy
that
Kandi got something out of that.
Yes. No one else did, so that's great.
No one else did. Marlo couldn't handle the smell.
Right. But I love that. That actually moved me. I did love that.
I agree. I got a little teary-eyed myself. I felt like happy for Kandi. I was like relieved. I'm like, Kandi did need this, guys. She works too much. She's like, my group's falling apart. Like, we don't even know half the shit going on. But this is where Heath, Ralph, and Ross talk about the lawsuit, and they're gonna like splice in Drew. It's gonna go from like Ralph telling a story to like Drew telling the story. Surprisingly, it did make more sense. I was expecting them to have 2 different stories completely, but it wasn't too far off. But I love right before they get into it, Heath goes, "Man, you guys are always catching hell with your assistants, huh?" I don't think he meant to be a shade, or maybe he did. He's funny. Maybe he did, because it's like, oh, careful. But the lady sat down. That lunch, again, well done, Drew. Stunning tablescape. Even Kenya had to point it out, and that's saying a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because Kenya can't wait to drag everyone, even though she's the worst party planner of all.
Absolutely.
Even though she's the worst. Drew says, look, I was vulnerable with you guys in Portugal, but I just didn't feel very comfortable. And she's kind of saying this is why she wanted to do this retreat. And so Sheree goes from that to, yeah, and I know you had a day in court. How'd that go? And Marlo goes, did you win?
So shady.
Did you win?
So shady.
Oh my God, Marlo.
God.
But here's Cynthia legit doesn't know, or at least she's doing a good job pretending she doesn't know. So when she's like, can you tell me what it is? I was like, perfect. Because, none of them really know either, but they can pretend like this is just for Cynthia. How about that? Like, you put her on the spot brilliantly, Cynthia. And they, like I said, they weave them in. So according to Ralph, after the cooking didn't work out, they both claimed there was a hair in it. Then she said, is there another opportunity? And he's like, what about being a nanny? And I'm like, if someone came in saying I can cook for you and brought me food with hair in it, I would be like, I don't know if I want you around my life at all.
You're right.
Like that just sounds like a weird fan that wants to be around us or something.
Like, no matter what, I really want to be in your life. Yeah. Like, that's it's kind of creepy as fuck. Like, no, you don't like my cooking, but maybe I can do something. See that if you're doing all that, then when Drew's not at home, it's like, what else can I do for you? No.
It sounds way too sketch. And then they go back over to Drew, and Drew's saying that, when we got her as a nanny, she walked in, got a plate, dinner, and didn't interact with the kids. And that's it. They claim that's it. That's the last we saw of her. Ralph says they let her go, and she sends him $1,000 invoice. Okay, all this is tracking so far. Then Drew says a year. Did she say that they paid her too? Maybe not. I don't know. But Drew says a year later, the sheriff shows up at their door, and it's now $10,000. And everybody's like, well, when did it become 10,000? You've failed to
right.
that.
Never heard this before.
Kenya changes topics because she did her girl a favor.
Yes.
Okay, and asked Sheree about her birthday because she wasn't invited either. And that is exactly what you should do, because if you're filming, you should at least try to give her a little shit,
Exactly.
It's worth it, But Kandi in her confessional, she's like, I just think it's interesting that she's like, oh yeah, these are only people I've known for 30 years, but like I've known her longer than like Courtney and all those people. So obviously you're just lying, Sheree.
Right.
She did it for the photos, and she did it for Kandi, though, I love her. She's like not even bringing it up. She's like, I'm not going to pick a fight with it. But Drew goes, did my invitation get lost in the mail? And then she goes, Drew, you weren't in town, which she wasn't. And then she says, well, Kandi doesn't even show up for us, so the group. So I didn't think she'd show up for me. And Kandi goes, that's not true. I would have gone. And I was like, oh, Kandi would have gone. I felt bad. Like she was she looked kind of like sad and like
I think she's
down.
over them, like constantly bringing up that like she can't be around. It's like, well, shit. Like if I were Kandi, I'd be like, well, if y'all actually had shit going on in your life, then maybe you couldn't be around sometimes either. But y'all are gung ho to be at every fucking thing because you don't have shit going on. I mean, we're bringing up shit from 2-3 years ago to make for a storyline, Marlo. If you had something going on, then maybe you couldn't be there every time too. But here you are. You're always here.
Was it the reunion? Maybe. I'm sorry, the after show, or was it her confessional? But Sheree said something like, it's been busy for both Martell and I with work. And I was like, what?
Girl.
What work? If you mean filming, sure, fine. I'll give you that. But he can come into town whenever. You could also, like, don't. Please.
Right.
Everyone's able to go do what they've got. Like, that's what happens every season. Someone's like, I already had this planned. Unfortunately, so you got to go. But like, Sheree, what else do you do? Do not say she by Sheree.
Right.
Because what are you doing?
In my face? No, not a damn thing.
Okay.
Girl, stop it.
Cynthia does stir the pot quite nicely. And she goes, is this group divided from what I've heard? I'm like, well done, well done. She's like, I still got it. I still got it. Okay. And Kandi reminds him, she goes, well, Monietta did tell us that they had like a whole alliance. And Monietta's like, wait, well, what word did I use? Collusion. She's like, I love that she like loves that she's used that word. I actually think Monietta is handling this perfectly because she's truly not like concerned when they argue and they're like, I didn't say that. She's like, I just know you did. So like, I'm not even like, she's just like, she's just shrugging it off the way she should. She's not like getting overly defensive, trying to argue, she's just like, well, Courtney called Drew a bitch. And they flash back to her saying that bitch even questioned me.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it is sometimes like I will use that too. And it's not like I'm calling her a bitch. I'm not like, you are a bitch. I'm just like, that bitch over there is, you know what I mean?
Right,
it's not as serious, but technically Monietta's right. It just said that. But then I love Courtney so adamant that she would never say that. I would not even, that's a word I don't even use. But then they have her, it's like off camera and then they have the subtitles and Courtney goes, I don't use that word. And Monietta's like, well, no, you said like bitch said this or something. And Courtney goes, bitch, I didn't. Monietta goes, you just did. And Courtney's like, for the first time. So Monietta is continuing to be like, all right, like you just proved my point. Like I'm not afraid of what you guys are trying to deny because I know it's all going to come out. And I'm not even scared at all. Exactly. I did not love Monietta's new confessional look.
With the gloves and
it just was like it wasn't executed. I can't even quite tell what she was going for, but nothing came out.
I think they peekabooed that look one time earlier in the season, like not too many episodes ago though. They showed it once, and it was like a flash of it. I was like, ooh, what was that? But then they didn't show it again. Now they showed it again last night, and I was like, ooh, what the fuck is this? Like, what is happening?
A mess.
Don't love it. Don't love it.
Don't love it. Do not love it. And then this is where the Sonya like flash it. They take a picture and she flashes the tank, and then she's like, everyone check your phone. Oh, okay, bye.
No, girl.
Move it along. The final scene is Dr. Ken, who, if you're new to this podcast, Kendrick and Dr. Ken should not practice anymore. Okay. No. He is toxic. If Dr. Ken is your therapist, get out.
Yes.
Okay.
He got him a new lace front though.
He did, didn't he? He did. So it's bad. Ralph has moved out of the bedroom since date night. It's over. So Drew is saying her stuff to Dr. Ken, and he goes, what I'm hearing is nobody is going to gaslight me. And I'm like, wait, this kind of proves to me that you watched the show and like know that gaslight was like a big thing for Drew or something.
Like, get out of here. You're a fan. You're not a therapist. What are you?
That's what I felt like.
What is happening? No, Dr. Ken can't stay. He's got to go.
He has to go. We got to get her a new therapist. They need to all go to that therapist that did
Family Karma.
Bish and
Richa.
That therapist did some things. So
she was
Dr.
good.
She was very good. It was a good session. They got somewhere. So and no one expects to get anywhere on a reality TV therapy moment, right?
Exactly.
But no, the difference in if you didn't watch the family karma scene that we're talking about, they didn't actually bring cameras in. They only showed us the footage from like the security camera that was like in the office. And that's a big difference because when I think about it, if I was in therapy and there was a whole man with a camera right here, that would be very weird.
Right. It's one thing to have them like in your day-to-day life, but like therapy is always, it's like already kind of like supposed to be like this sacred kind of like safe space to like tell stuff. And like a reality TV camera by definition kind of defeats the purpose of it. So it's kind of, I would need you out of the room. You can't be in there while I'm doing therapy. That's a little much.
Yeah. And like,
and I'm going to lie.
So you can't be in there.
Right.
You can't hear what I'm going to say.
Shut up. That is so stupid.
You guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about how much I love this company's products, but I do this because I love you guys, okay? If you don't already know, Kitsch makes all kinds of amazing beauty products from head to toe, but what it's all about with Kitsch is preventative care, okay? When I found out that you should not just be sleeping on a typical pillowcase, but you should be sleeping on a satin pillowcase because not only does it help prevent breakage in your hair, it helps prevent wrinkles. I was like, duh. I've never looked back. They also taught me that if I'm using hair ties that are rough on the hair, like your typical elastic bands, not good either. You want the satin on those hair ties. It has been a game changer for me. I've loved this company for years, and I just need everyone to know, especially if you're in your 20s, do it now before it's too late. Because once the wrinkles are there, it is so hard to get rid of them. Trust me. And the best part about Kitsch is it's budget friendly. So whatever your budget is, whatever your skin type is, your hair type, Kitsch is all about little indulgences morning, noon, and night at the right price. And they were started in 2010, female founded, self-funded. They sold hair ties door to door with a little hustle and a dream, but now they're sold in over 20,000 retail locations. You have heard me talk about the satin pillowcases. They also do them in caps and eye masks. So this is great for your hair and skin while you sleep, because think of how many hours we sleep on our face and on our heads and on our hair. Protect it. You may have also heard about the heatless satin rollers. They were the original, no more heat damage, wake up or just leave it in for a few hours and you've got amazing waves. But the latest Kitsch viral craze is the rice water shampoo bars, which can improve your overall hair growth and density. People are like, I'm never using bottle shampoo again. And their hair feels and looks 1,000% better in between washes. Plus, right now, for a limited time, you can live your Barbie dream life with the Barbie by Kitsch collection featuring Kitsch's best-selling satin pillowcases in the iconic Barbie pink. I just recently, maybe 2 weeks ago, re-upped my pillowcases. They got some amazing colors in for the spring. I got the sage and the blush pink, but I'm thinking I need to get that Barbie pillow because I like it. Right now, Kitsch is offering you 30% off your entire order at mykitsch.com/shespeaks. That's right. 30% off anything and everything at mykitsch, spelled kitsch.com/shespeaks. One more time, mykitsch.com/shespeaks for 30% off your entire order.
Shut up. That is so stupid.
So my dad just recently moved here to LA from Florida. And it was extremely overwhelming for him because he had to find all the doctors here. And he's not in the best of health. So he needs the heart doctor, the general practitioner. He needs a few. So he was blown away when I showed him ZocDoc. We were able to find under his insurance every doctor he needed in a matter of a few hours. ZocDoc is a free app where you can find amazing doctors and book appointments online. We're talking about booking appointments with thousands tons of top-rated patient-reviewed doctors and specialists. You can filter specifically for ones who take your insurance, are located near you, and treat almost any condition you're searching for. These docs all have verified reviews from actual real patients, not bots, and the average wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is between 24 and 48 hours. That's it. You can even score same-day appointments. And then you find the doctor that you want and you book them immediately, just with a few taps. No more waiting awkwardly on hold with the receptionist. And you know they're never coming back. As I said, my dad found all of his doctors on ZocDoc, and we were able to go through, look at reviews, make him feel comfortable, because he also is concerned that they may not listen to his needs, etc. He's got a lot of needs, and he felt so comfortable. He's already seen all of the doctors that he booked through ZocDoc and loves them all. So go to ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then you can find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks. ZocDoc.com/SheSpeaks. Okay, let's move over to RHONY. We went on for an hour. Oh my God, Kendrick, I'm sorry. We'll do this faster. Although I really loved this episode, though. This
was a good one.
was so
good,
funny, and like full of information. Because we pick up on where we left off with Bryn, and she just, I mean, I was totally crying when she said, as a first grader, she tried to drink a bottle of Dimetapp because she wanted to sleep forever. As a first grader, that's the tiniest little person, right? But she talks about her dad ended up reaching out as he was dying. He had cirrhosis of the liver and liver cancer. And he said to her that there was never a day in his life that he didn't look in the mirror and look at a monster. So she's like, so I forgave him, because, you know, what the fuck do? You forgive him. And she was a senior in high school too. Like, that's still kind of young.
Yes. I've seen like this kind of thing happen before, like in real life. How do you feel about, like, if it was you? Because I try to put myself in people's like situation like that. If I had an absentee parent my whole life, and in my mind, at least, this might not be what he was doing, but in my mind, they're reaching out to me to kind of like get worldly kind of absolution to like everything that they've done, so that they can go off with like an easy conscience. I don't know if I could give that to you, honestly. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that. I consider myself to be like a big person. Like, I always like take the high. I'm like, whatever. I don't care that much. Whatever.
Yeah.
But like that, I don't know. Like, you're supposed to be the person that like protects me my whole life and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know. That would be hard for me. Admittedly, that would be very, very hard for me if someone called and said, "Hey, your dad is dying.
Yeah.
I need you he wants you to come see him," and all the kind of stuff.
Because it feels selfish.
Right. I'm like, I wouldn't know what I would do in that situation. So her actually like saying like, you know what, I'm going to go. Kudos to her. Like, that was big of her.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I could.
I don't know if I could either, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially because like I already have a difficult relationship with one of my parents, and it wasn't obviously that bad, but a lot of the time, the reason why I don't like reciprocate communication is because it's for her. And I don't know, like, I get what you're saying, because if I'm honest with myself, I felt a bit of disappointment when she said she did forgive him, because I wanted him to never know that his daughter forgave him. But like, it's probably better for her soul that she did.
Yeah.
And
that's a stamp to heaven. Like, you'll get a stamp on your card for that. That's a good thing to do. Yeah.
And it just shows how like she really was so young when it all happened, that she probably just wanted her dad so badly. Like, and then you're a senior in high school. That's a specific time too, to like want a dad. Yeah. And you're going to graduate, you know what I mean? So
prom and everything. Yeah.
So it's almost like you shouldn't put your child in that position after what you've done. Like, unfortunately, you're going to have to die knowing you fucked up. But we don't know all the conversations they had. And that man may have been so remorseful and so genuine.
Which it sounds like he was. And the way she described it, he really might have been. So maybe that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. But like, I do totally know what you mean. Because when that parent has screwed up so royally, it's like, you don't get this now. You don't get to go to heaven or wherever, whatever you believe it to be, with this clear conscience.
Right.
Yeah. And that Bryn's confessional was, I think I said it last week, that she was starting to kind of get on my nerves with her like little baby voice thing. But then when I saw this, and then she says, the reason why I'm so happy all the time is because I've been so low. And I was like, exactly. It's like, she's got to smile through the pain type of thing. That is probably a tactic she's been using for forever. Just like, keep smiling. It's like, you should not be smiling, but you are anyway. And that is it's an amazing quality, right?
Yep.
I love how much, this is just a small little thing. I love how much Uba loves the holidays because, quote, no family, the city's empty and everything is 50% off. Not because she just loves the holiday spirit, but she's like, oh, it's such a great time to be in New York.
Yes, I love it.
I actually do agree with that though. When you're like in LA, when it's the holidays, it's the best because everyone's out of town and you're just like, you go to like Santa Monica for fun because it would always take you an hour and a half. It takes you 20 minutes.
Yes.
It's so fun.
I can relate now because I've been to Santa Monica.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yay. Yeah. Jessel tells them about the event she's throwing. And I love the way she pitches it. She's like, no, it's a cool event. And like the proceeds go to a charity that helps with schools in India. It's very cool. It's like, she's so ridiculous. I love her more and more every episode.
Yes. I love it. Because she like walks this really fine line between like very serious but very ridiculous at the same time. You don't really know what you're gonna get.
Yes.
Like the whole we're gonna get there, but like the whole like Tribeca is up and coming thing. It's like what are we doing right now? Like what conversation are we having? What is going on?
I couldn't tell if she was just trying to like stick it to Aaron.
Right.
Or if she genuinely felt that, which either way is great. Either way, no notes.
Love it.
Jenna goes, I have something that night. And someone goes, what do you have? She goes, I don't remember, but I know I have something.
Honestly, same.
Oh my God. I related. I'm like,
yes.
Let me check my calendar. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
I know I might have something. I'm not sure. Yeah.
There's something there. If not, I'll find it.
If not, exactly. I'll figure it out. I'm washing my hair.
Exactly.
Sai points out that because she's the one who threw this event. So she looks over to Aaron. She's like, I had that good toilet paper out too. And Aaron's like, oh my God, you're obsessed with toilet paper. And Sai flashback. I don't know why I just found this so funny. Sai literally threw the toilet paper at Aaron from the top floor. She's like, what is this? And she just chucks the toilet paper at her.
It's got to be some thin ass paper. Like if it's this big of a deal. It's got to be that one ply. Like, oh no. No.
Oh my God. But then Aaron goes, it's better than being cackling hags in the Hamptons.
Bloop.
And Sai makes like the funniest sound to imitate a cackling hag. I was like, what is that? She's like, ah, or something. It's like weird. But Aaron goes, that was mean. Jessel's like, it was a joke. Aaron's like, it wasn't funny. And Jessel just goes, a little bit.
I like her demeanor.
Me
like
too.
I like she just gives off such like I don't give a fuck, but also like
I give a fuck, but about very different things.
Yes.
And this is not one of them. And she's like, you think it's funny? And Jessel's like, I mean, in England, it's like a funny colloquial. Yes. I love her voice too. And then she goes to Sai. Did you tell Sai what you called us? And Sai's face is so entertained by this like nonsense. She's like, what are we talking about? So Jessel's, I'm sorry, she's pulling the British card, and I don't blame her because honestly, if someone called me a cackling hag when I was like picking at them and telling them like, well, you shouldn't have said, I would take it.
Right. Take it. You gotta.
I get that they really don't like Jessel. There's probably a ton we don't see. And I'm sure it's a part of like filming too that just makes it annoying. She's probably complaining all the time to producers. And like, we probably don't see a lot of it. But cackling hag is clearly like a little phrase that she used or something. It's not bad. It's not like she called you guys a bunch of bitches.
Right. I mean, it's like, it feels like one of those, what is it? There's like a certain like term that people call each other that's so like unserious, and that feels like one of them. Like it doesn't feel like it's an insult. Yeah, it's just like God, I wish I could think of it, but you know when people just say something like just kind of that something over there, and it's not insulting. It's just like, it almost feels like something that's passed around their friend group almost. Nothing insulting. It'll be okay. It's all right.
And how do you not realize that you guys were both like talking to her about how she did things incorrectly and like, just take it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fine. That's fine.
Right.
Jenna even comes in and she's like, guys, I wouldn't care. And which I'm now convinced that's why she said it to Aaron, because she probably thought it was funny.
Right.
I really don't think she was trying, because she's like, I didn't think they would get like genuinely mad. And then Aaron's like, in her confessional, she's like, I mean, Jessel's just rude. Should I call you a stupid bitch? No big deal. That's what we say in New York. I'm like, well, that's completely different. That is not comparable.
What? I've had these moments that like Jenna has had many a time, because I'm the one, like, I have another cousin too. Both of us, we will laugh at it. It's truly hard to like upset us or hurt our feelings, because like we'll laugh at almost anything. Like, we think it's just our sense of humor. We think so much is funny. So like that would be me going to like one of my other cousins that's much more like serious about it and being like, she said so-and-so, like with a laugh on my face, and them being like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, nope, you didn't take that well. Okay, whoops, my bad. Nope, didn't mean that. Sorry.
Because it's funny to you, and then they are like, that's not fucking funny. You're like, oh, well, okay. Pretend I didn't say anything.
Exactly.
And you can't abort. You can't take it back. And Jenna's like, I really didn't mean for this to cost like this, guys. Like, this is ridiculous. And then Bryn's like, well, do you want to take it back? And Jessel says, nope. So that's how my shit is, you know? And then Aaron's like, look, for me, you just seem miserable the whole time. Like, and they flash back to all of them in the car. And Jessel's like, I need to go home. I need to feed my kids. I need to get out of this car. And they're like all in the back, like, I'm sure it's a lot. I'm sure it's a lot. But at no point can you guys just laugh at her. Like, at some point I would be like, Jessel, shut up, and just like crack up at her, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure she'd be like, what? And then if she got mad, I'd be like, well, then we can talk. But I bet she would just like, she probably, actually, no, I was going to say she knows she's difficult. But when she was on Watch What Happens Live, she really kept reiterating that she's never been considered difficult by anyone and doesn't look at herself like that. I'm like, huh, interesting.
I know. She kind of, damn it, I lost my train of thought. She feels like the girl that I lost it. God damn it.
That happened to me earlier. Now we're even.
I know.
Now we're even.
Man, it was going to be a good point. Oh, well. Damn it.
You'll remember it. I'll say something else and then you'll be like,
there we
I got it. Yeah.
There we go.
So then, but Bryn's like, I even text you, Jessel, after to check on you because, you know, you've been complaining all day and I just wanted to be like, are you doing okay? And then you're like, oh, like I'm going out or something. And then she lies. First, Jessel claims that was the next day. And she's like, no, it wasn't. And because she's so sure, because Bryn's so sure, she's like, oh, I had a work dinner that night. How do you know for sure, Jessel?
Okay.
It was working. But then Aaron goes, you're working now? And Jessel goes, of course I am. And yeah, Aaron's confession, she's like, she told me she took a break after she had her kids. I mean, she didn't tell me she started again. I'm like, well, wasn't it a year ago that she had her kids? Like, aren't her kids like one?
Right.
And so I think it's kind of not absurd that it's
a miracle. It's not overseas.
Jessel picked up on the tood that Aaron meant to give her. And then Aaron's trying to be like, I was just asking. No, bitch, you weren't. There was tone. There was tone. And Jessel picked up on that shit right quick. Okay.
That's why I laugh so much later on when she does the whole like almost like women supporting women thing. Like, you don't do that very well, and it's like, ooh, I see what you're doing there. Okay, I kind of love this. You kind of tit for tat. I like it.
When we get to that scene, I loved it. I loved
it. It was a good one.
A great scene. But then Sai switches to, how's the whole sex situation with your husband? And then Aaron chimes in like, oh, I thought you would have said like you guys fucked already. And I'm like, shut up, both of you. Right. Honestly, because then Sai goes, I spread my legs. And I was like, wow, fuck you. Actually, this is really shitty, guys. Like, a lot of women deal with these issues. And just because you guys don't, doesn't mean you got to put her down. You're like embarrassing her in front of everybody. So now we're going a little too far.
Yeah, they don't ease up off the sex ever, and I know she wants them to. She just doesn't want to. I feel like she already is like, okay, they think I'm difficult as fuck, so let me like, sex is like the one fun thing we talk about, so let me not like take that away from them, and then they have nothing to relate to me about. So I don't know. It feels like she's in kind of a lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to talk about it either. Like, don't worry about it.
She's handling it well. Even on Watch What Happens Live, she was like, look, it got a little bit like I became like the butt of the joke, and that wasn't my favorite, but it was good because it lit a fire up under our ass. And so she's still handling it well. They're throwing a lot at her. Granted, she's complaining a lot and she's difficult and they're probably annoyed, but still.
Right. Exactly.
I liked getting Sai's like background in how she became an influencer. I actually didn't think I would enjoy this sort of information, like influencer stuff, but like I did appreciate it actually.
Who she when she said the name of, I can't remember, maybe you
Alberta
wrote it down.
Ferretti.
Yes, when she said that, I was like, oh shit, like so like you had a start in this. So like that's dope as fuck. Like,
and then she said, I learned how to code and started my own website. I'm like, well, then okay, girl.
Go you.
That's cool. And then she says 9 months later, BuzzFeed did an article, and that's how I got to where I am.
There you go.
She has a whole team now. She's like, I offer health insurance. Because it makes sense. It does, like you cannot, I know this from trying, unfortunately, I have to drop Project Runway because I physically can't get to it. So you do need a team if you're going to stay on top of like that level of volume.
True. You tell me about, I'm like, it's so funny that like me and you were like impressed by each other with like what we do, because like, I'm like, y'all to me, like you're in particular are so impressive because like you do the visual, you do the audio, like everything. I'm like, I could not imagine with this fucking job. Like I struggle, like just putting my episodes out each week is like a win for me. And then like the social media on top of it, I'm like, kill me now. Like I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah. I'm finally cracking, and I am looking for a social media person just to help me with TikTok. Cause I just like, it's not my wheelhouse.
If I could find like, cause I don't know, like I would love to like just post like podcast promos on there, like the video, like formula, but I don't know. I feel like the ones I see on there are so annoying to me.
No, I know.
I'm like, people hate me, so like I don't want to do it. So I had to find like a funny way to like do something, but I'm like, who has time to think about that?
That's the thing. I need to like strategize with someone. I also want that same person to help me with YouTube, because I like don't even really know what I'm supposed to do on YouTube. There's things like I could do lives and I could do shit like that, but I'm like, it's like I need someone to give me a schedule, tell me what to do. Otherwise, like I'll never do it. And I've seen a major, like it's stagnant with my growth on the show. And I know it's because I'm not utilizing other mediums. I'm not using TikTok nearly enough. And I know, but I'm like, every time I go on a TikTok, I don't know what I'm doing.
Me neither. That's the thing too. Like TikTok is really what's like exploding people, and I just can't. Like I the thought of like getting on something else. Like I like begrudgingly join Threads, and I like haven't posted on there in like 2 weeks. So I'm like, I can't. It's too much. It's too much.
Kendrick, I've made a point. I'm like, I'm gonna start posting on like X, I guess we have to call it now, and Threads, but like. There's so much to remember. Like there's so many. It's like, okay, I post here and I got to go over here. Now I got to go over here. And then you're supposed to like interact with people too. You're not just supposed to like post something and run, which is basically what I do on TikTok. Cause I'm just like, I don't. And so, yeah. So I need someone to help. I need someone who can do that. Okay. Yeah. It's time.
There you go.
Okay. Jessel and Aaron meet for coffee.
Yes.
I love it. I
love it. Best.
Here's the best part. This is Erin's hood. This is her local spot.
Tribeca.
She has such a tone about it too. She's like, "Do you like this place? I come here all the time." I'm like, "Oh, okay, do you, Erin? Okay." But then Jessel says, and I swear if it was meant to be a read, I love it, because she goes, "I have some friends that are moving to Tribeca, and it's very up and coming." And she goes, "It's there, is it? I feel like there's still potential."
This was when I first heard it, I was just like, you don't know what you're talking about, like at all. You're just like throwing it out there. But then when I keep thinking about it, I'm like, no, that was probably shade, and I kind of love that. Kind of love it.
Because she makes this.
It set the tone for this whole meeting.
She's like kind of she won't break eye contact with Aaron, and she's just like, I see you, bitch. And when Aaron goes, it's the most expensive zip code. She tries to like backtrack that because she hears how she sounded. You know, you already said this was your neighborhood. We get it.
Right.
But the reason Jessel claims she asked Aaron for coffee is because I got a rather cold greeting from you at the Brinsgiving, and I just wanted to make sure everything was good. But she's not smiling. She's like, it's almost threatening. I just want to make sure everything was good. Basically, bitch, I'm on to your attitude. I'm picking all of it up. I'm not an idiot.
Yep.
Okay, this is a test. All right. And so Aaron, in my opinion, loses this match. Because she goes, Aaron claims that Jessel like wasn't getting her usual treatment. So maybe I feel like maybe you're just used to like more attention and like whatever. But by the way, when they flash back to what Jessel was upset about, it was cold. There was no heat. There was no Wi-Fi and no fucking food.
Kind of three things I would require of my hostess as well. So not the most irrational things.
I would freak out.
Right. Like I get it. Like those three things. Like I mean, the cold, love it because I don't want any heat anywhere.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, I'm like I can deal with that. But the food is the biggest one because why are you constantly trying to give me these like little chips and crackers and these kind of things for me to nibble on? No, but like bring out the
I need pasta.
Bring pasta, yes. Bring out the bowl of chili. Like, I need something hearty. I need a hearty meal. This is not cutting it. Wi-Fi, need that too because I'm probably got to post at some point. I don't want to.
I'm going to say, it's a thing.
And you got influencers staying with you, so you know what it is.
But then Jessel cuts her off and goes, so you're calling me a princess? And Aaron goes, maybe. And she goes, a princess that doesn't work, apparently. And I'm like, that's why you brought her here. There, but she snuck it in. She like slid her before she even saw it coming. Yeah. And so she's like, well, you told me you were taking a break after you had twins. And so then Jessel says, let me say this so I don't have to repeat it again. I'm like, sit down, Aaron, you lost. Just so you know. And she's like, I started my own consultancy. I'm starting to take on designers again. I'm working. See, I truly embrace women that are working.
Oh.
Aaron's like, oh, so you're saying I don't embrace women? I would watch that. And Jessel goes, you just said you don't think I work. Jessel didn't break a sweat. She did. No. I saw like a hint of anger on her temple because she was like, hold it in. But Aaron goes, okay, mazel tov for starting your own business, but don't ever say I don't support women because I do.
This was amazing because I love the fact that like, I love a fight that's like a precursor to something else. This was a precursor for the ending because it's like, bitch, I work. And then you get there and you see all these like fashion heavyweights walking into the room on a casual Tuesday, just coming in like, oh, hey, girl, what's up? Vogue magazine here, Harper's Bazaar over there. Like everyone's here. It's like, well, shit. Like, so if nobody works, she works. So kudos, Jessel. Kudos.
Jessel goes, yeah, we need to support each other. And I didn't feel that from you. So like, it's kind of like she kind of tricked Aaron. Like Aaron's like, don't say I don't support women. It's like, well, what about me?
Right.
Like you didn't really do that. And then she's like, I've already said I didn't know you started back up again a few times. So like, what do you want? And she goes, and you also said that I'm a princess. I've never been called a princess before.
It's like, well, technically she didn't say. Yes. I do love that she admits that later on too. She was like, well, she didn't call me one. I kind of said princess. And I'm like, okay, well, there we go.
I editorialized.
You're self-aware enough. Yes.
And what's interesting is that Jessel, I didn't even realize that she's like, I came here as an immigrant. I had nothing. And I worked my way to the top. I'm like, girl, you do come off like old money.
Yes.
Which is a compliment. And so strange that she doesn't view it as such because maybe because they're saying it with like a negative connotation, like you think you're better than us. And she's like, I genuinely don't because I've worked my ass off to get here.
You know what? I can see how it isn't to people that like started, that have like actually made a name for themselves and like built themselves up from the ground up. Cause like old money, even though like, you know, I would love to be like someone referred to me as, oh, he's must got that old money. I'm like, bitch, yes, I do. Yes, honey, yes. But for someone like her who's like literally built it from the ground up, it's like, okay, you might be saying that like I didn't work for literally everything I have when you know for a fact that I did. And that's kind of insulting. So I get it. But I wouldn't have reacted that way because I'm like, oh yes, bitch, I'm old money.
Yeah, because like the way she like starts it off is in a bad way. She's not like, you come off like old money, awesome, chic, fabulous. It's like you come off like a bitch, and that's what you know, different,
right?
Different. So I get it. But when they walk out, it is so bizarre because they both stand up. And then Erin's kind of, I think I couldn't tell, just like trying to get around Jessel, but then Jessel just like, without saying a word to her, just like walks out in front of her. And it's like, okay, it's just amazing. It's
awkward.
Fantastic. When Jenna's friend Heather comes over to like go through her clothes, I love that we got to see her final project from when she was in fashion school. And it was that, like it looked like it's very Project Runway. It was very like very much giving that. And she got an A+.
Love it. I love this whole scene, especially like pulling out the thing that Beyonce wore somewhere. I was like, very appropriate for this era right now. We're in the Renaissance era, so yes, love that. Like
the clothes that she's like, I met the Obamas in this. This is the Met Ball. When I met Kate Middleton, it's like this is chicness. Okay,
yes, God. Shut me up. Okay,
seriously. Brynn and Sai also go to coffee, and this is where we find out that Brynn is studying chess and is going to compete in a chess tournament. She's like, I've done everything. I've taken violin lessons, piano lessons, fencing. That's cute. That's really cute. That's like, I don't know how she has the time, but good for her.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, what does Brynn do what does she do for work? Why do I not know that?
I don't know that either.
Does she do it? How do we not know that? Let me look it up right now. RHONY. Brynn work
corporate communications and marketing consultant.
Oh, that sounds boring. I don't know for who.
A freelance marketing communications consultant. So she works for different PR agencies apparently. There we go.
Okay, PR makes a lot of sense for her.
Yeah,
she could sell anything.
She can talk it up. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so Brynn got a call from Jessel over how she's like, I'm so over the Hamptons, which, you know, is just because she's like, I'm so over hearing from you guys how much you don't like me about the Hamptons.
Right.
But then Erin and Brynn are closer. So obviously Erin's like, she shows up so she can have her version of it on camera, which was, you know, smart, fine.
Right.
So Brynn, Sai, and Erin all discuss how she should have handled things. It's like, she could say this, she could say that. And at this point I was like, all right, now you guys are just kind of being annoying. It's like, she's not going to say that. She's who she is. Like, just accept it. And like, don't try to change this girl.
Yeah. Agreed.
Jessel's place for the party. Her company's The Know, and she's like, you know, like in the know. I'm like, yes, I get it.
We got
that. We got that.
We did indeed. Yes.
Pavitt has a carrot stick in his champagne.
Did he? I get he was joking, but like, did he explain why he did it? Like,
was he joking?
I assume. Well, I have no idea.
He's like, it's healthier. Then what?
Right. I'm going to start doing that when I eat a fucking big ass piece of cheesecake. Like, just put a stick of carrot in there somewhere.
And not consume the carrot. Just stick it inside of it.
Right.
Because
absorb.
She's like, please don't do this in front of people. She's like, you're embarrassing me in front of all of my friends.
Yeesh.
Jenna, meanwhile, is decorating the tree with her goddaughter and son and friend Brandon. And I love that she loves Christmas. That's a very cute quality for Jenna. It's adorable. But listen, I think that it's totally acceptable. She didn't say I have an event. She said I have a thing, and all of you guys turned it into like something bigger. So I think Brynn's kind of reaching a little bit, being mad at Jenna, because it's not like Jenna lied and was like, oh, I'm at an event tonight, guys. She showed you exactly what she was doing. And like, it is an event that she can't miss. It's her son, you know?
It is. I actually, so I get both sides to this one, because had she just said, maybe she didn't remember in the moment though. She just like, cause I do that a lot too. I'm like, that date sounds familiar. Yes. I gotta be doing something that day. So like, I get that part of it. So in their minds, they're like, okay, well, bitch, we would have understood you're with your son, and like, we would have got that. Like, we don't need you to come. That's fine. But I'd get on her side too. It's like, well, no, this is just as important as anything y'all are talking about. So there we go.
Jessel, it's stacked with fashion people walking in, like back to back to back. And then Sai shows up. Sai shows up in a mood. Sai shows up like, I'm here. Right. You're welcome. But the first thing she does is she sits down and she's asked Jessel what happened with Aaron. Good girl.
There you go. There you go. Get right to it.
But then what's funny is that as Jessel started to explain it, Sai interrupts and goes, and she called you a princess and you cried, didn't you? Like, so you're giving away that you already heard the story.
Right. Jeez.
You know? So Sai tells her, this is where Sai goes, you know, you seem like someone who comes from money. And then she realizes Jessel's being offended. And that's when she's like, but don't be offended. If someone told me that, I'd be fucking loving it.
Right.
Which same, but it's like now she's on the defense.
Yeah. Against all of y'all. Because now, especially now she knows y'all have been talking about this incident. And she's the last one to get the, yes, you're the last one that gets to like actually put your input in. So it's like, oh no, I'm on the defense. I'm on the defense now.
Totally. And of course, when Bryn comes in, they're like, Bryn, you look like old money. And she's like, oh my God, that is literally the best compliment you could ever give me.
Yes.
They're like, right? She's like, I don't know why we said that, but okay. And then she goes, can I put that on LinkedIn? And then she also goes, I would love to be called a princess. Can I add that?
Same.
Bryn was wearing a man's blazer that they're saying that she did. Was she doing like the walk of shame?
Oh, so in my mind, at least, I didn't pick up on that. I thought they were saying that like, that's a blazer that they know like who it belongs to. Oh. So like, I don't know if it was like one of her exes or like what it was, or one of it was something like they knew what that blazer was. And she's like, well, no, bitch, it's mine now. So
I thought they were saying like, wait, did you wear this? Wait, this isn't, I thought that she was like coming from someone's house, like from the night before and like never went home kind of thing.
Maybe though. I don't know.
That was just wishful thinking on my part.
I get it.
Bryn went to her chess tournament and lost miserably.
Yes.
She didn't even know how to click the thing. He's like, just at the top, just at the top. She's like, oh, sorry. Bryn's very cute with the twins. So seeing her with the twins, I'm like, I think she should have kids, or she could just be fun aunt, but she looks like she really loves babies.
Yes. I think she desperately like, and it makes sense because everything we learned about her childhood now. Yeah. I think she really, really wants that like stable family life. She wants it. I think she's having fun with like the single, like it girl kind of thing. But like, the way she is around like Sai's kids and Jessel's kids. And it's like, I think she wants, you know, a little more.
She is it girl. You're right. Yeah. She is so the it girl right now. That is so her. She's like the Tinsley Mortimer.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Tinsley would freak out if there was anyone being called that. But it's giving us, that's very RHONY, right? Like we're getting all the flavors that we want. It's such good casting. But this is where Brent starts up being like, interesting. I thought Jenna had an event. Do we think that if Bryn did that, she probably would get more hell than Jenna Lyons?
Oh, absolutely. I love Jenna Lyons. Like I love her on this show. Like I love the personality and everything. But she absolutely, like the girls don't go at her nearly as hard as they would anyone else. Yeah. She does kind of get a pass on this show. So I get it usually is one person in those situations that is going to call it out, like across the franchises. And Brand seems to be the one on this one that's like, okay, I'm doing shit and y'all are like nailing me to the cross. Jenna's doing the same thing and like everyone's just like, oh, that's Jenna. That's so chic. It's okay. She doesn't have to be, she's above us and she's richer and like all this kind of stuff. And no one really holds her feet to the fire. So I get the frustration.
They all gave her shit for leaving though. Remember? They all went. When Jenna left and went home, like they gave her shit for that, so that's fair.
I think they did. I think that they called her. They like got together and called her out, but I think they called her out because one of them pointed out that like she doesn't get it nearly as bad. Because I think Aaron.
Oh, it was like out of like to prove a point. Like, no, we don't just
Yes.
I get
'Cause
that.
if I remember, Aaron she went and apologized to Aaron, and Aaron was like, "Oh, that's fine. It's okay. You don't have to, And then everyone was like, excuse me." Like, no,
right.
no, not
You're
okay.
right, because Brynn had to beg for her forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Hers was a little more blatant, though. She said, "I'm not going to this dinner, and then we're going to go to this dinner instead." So
yes,
except that you're being extra shady. Like Jenna just ducked out because she didn't want to be kept awake because she had an early meeting.
Exactly.
And then she came back,
Mm-hmm.
Aaron comes in and Jessel runs over, and Jessel's smart. She's like, yeah, I can't have like her going and talking to the girls about this. Like, she saw how that played out. Sai showed her cards and was like, yeah, bitch, we've been talking about you. So she goes up to Aaron and she's like, I just wanted you to know that I meant to come from a positive place at coffee. So Aaron and her are like, okay, we're good. It's like the most insincere makeup, but it's like they both recognize like too early in the game for us to be enemies.
Mm-hmm.
We just started.
Yes.
There's a lot of
I like
left.
a good tense build up too.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me, I always like to think back, like, now how did this start? And then like, that cafe dinner, that's where the fuck it started at. So yeah,
good.
I'm here for it.
Me too. Brynn is like so starstruck when in walks Lynn Yeager, and she's like, wait a minute, guys, hold on. And then they all have to be like, so Jessel's legit. And Aaron was so pissed about it. She's like, oh, I don't know who that is. Vogue. I've never heard of it.
Right. What's that? Anna Wintour. What the fuck is that?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
What is that? Oh.
Okay. Aaron brings up her vow renewal, and Sai's confessional is, I just need to know if there will be food because she likes to not feed us.
Honestly, same.
I love Sai. I need Sai because she makes me feel secure in that they will eat.
Yes, that's exactly. I love that, because the other girls, like with the exception of Atlanta, no one else is concerned about eating, and I'm like, no, we've got to eat.
I need food. I need food accessible at all times.
Yes, all times.
Pop in, grab it, because especially if I'm out of town, I need to know that I'm like, I got a comfort in the food. Mm-hmm. So we end with Brynn starting the shit with Jenna being like, oh, it's Jenna Lie-ons. I was like, all right. Yeah. I hope it doesn't last too long. I don't think it will. I think Brynn is just good at creating a little drama.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think she has any like qualms with Jenna, really. I think she knows how to take an opportunity and like poke the bear, which thanks.
Thank you.
Love it.
Love that. Okay. Well, that wraps us up. Thank you, Kendrick, as always. Guys, don't forget to follow Kendrick on Instagram, not on TikTok, at Reality Comics 2, and check out his podcast, Reality and Comics 2, everywhere you get your podcasts. Love you guys, mean it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, would you mind leaving me a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform you are listening? If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget there's the super thanks option down at the bottom, the little button with the $ and the heart. And also I'm on buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo if you want to buy me a little coffee or 2 or 5. And my Patreon, that is where I'm covering all of the classic Bravo jams. If you want to follow me over there and subscribe, link is in the description. And follow me on Instagram and TikTok at She Speaks Bravo. And whoever the guest was for today, all their information is always in the episode description. So if you want to follow them and check them out, check there for the info. And any of the sponsor codes that I mentioned in this episode will also be in the description. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.